"We're playing a game today," my barista told me as I picked up my coffee drink from the end of the coffee bar at the new neighborhood shop over by John Carroll University. "So here, roll this 12-sided die," she says, "and see what number you get." I obliged, and I rolled a 9. "A 9, she said, as she consulted her list. "Okay, if you were able to meet any person in history, who would it be?" It was an interesting interaction, I must say. And after I responded, and after we chatted about it for maybe not even a minute, I went and sat down with my drink at a table and got to my work. But I noticed that she was similarly engaging every customer that came through and picked up a drink. And an interesting phenomenon emerged. It was clear that people were definitely not expecting to interact with their barista in this sort of a way while getting their coffee. And this little coffee shop game, this little simple interaction moved folks from a very passive interaction with their surroundings to an active engagement in what was happening around them, complete with changes in their body language and facial expressions and their overall presence in the space, how they carried themselves. For what was usually a strictly impersonal exchange, right? Ordering the coffee, picking it up, going about on your way, suddenly became a different sort of moment, a moment of connection, a moment of unexpected levity and humanness, and even a little bit of camaraderie of all things. People seemed to be left in a better relationship when they left than when they had first arrived. And I wonder if a similar movement is afoot in the teachings that the Gospel according to Matthew offers for us today, via these words of Jesus in this Sermon on the Mount, as it is called. For when Jesus references these certain ancient teachings of the law, the good and life-giving law of Moses that are cited today, murder, adultery, faithfulness, and our spoken oaths, our swearing, he takes them and then he reframes them, reminding his listeners that the law is not passive and just law for the sake of the law, but that it rather directs us toward one another, toward each other, toward recognizing our shared human dignity, and is thus designed to bring life then into our midst, both with one another and also in our relationship with God. For yes, of course, murder, as he references it, damages the fabric of the human family. But so does unresolved anger and long lingering offenses and unfinished repentance. And yes, of course, adultery damages the fabric of our humanity, but so does an unbounded male gaze and false assumptions that others exist simply for our own gratification. So there's an invitation through the Scriptures to choose life when we can. As it is named in Deuteronomy from the lips of Moses all those years ago when the people are entering into the promised land. Right? They've been wandering in the desert for a whole generation, for 40 years. They're about to finally make it in this new era of life. And Moses says to them, "See, dear people, I have set before you today life and prosperity, and death and adversity." He says, if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God that I'm commanding you today by loving God and walking in God's ways and observing God's commandments and decrees and ordinances, then you shall live and be prosperous. But if your heart turns away and you do not hear and are led astray to bow down to other gods, I declare that you shall perish. You shall not live long in the land that you are crossing the Jordan to enter and possess. Moses calls heaven and earth against the people as witnesses before them that they have this choice, death and life. And he beckons them to choose life again and again so that they may be prosperous and live and know what that means to live in the light of God. But of course we know that there are always things that are hard or impossible for us to make right. We do not always choose life. But perhaps it is in these moments that we trust that God makes a way for us regardless, and continues to transform the death that we experience into a new opportunity of life ahead of us. For this is God's pathway to true life, God's kingdom, as we say, God's reign, sometimes we call it, the reality of God's goodness and justice and wholeness and life made real on earth as it is in heaven, as we say in the Lord's Prayer every week. And so what does it mean then for us to choose life today to the best of our ability? Or perhaps it means engaging in relationships like that barista initiated, looking for small moments of deeper human connection and shared joy in a world that only expects us to be good, passive consumers. Or perhaps it means taking a serious look at the harm we've caused and the ways we might seek reconciliation. Or perhaps it means reminding ourselves simply that our worth as humans far exceeds even our own expectations, and that God will find a way to show us this sort of life that turns the world around for the better, especially when we need it most. So I invite you, dear church, to choose life this week, just as God has already chosen this good life for you. May it be so. In the name of Christ.